What's up, you oddballs? Welcome back to the Oddity Shop throwback style. Kara, why are we doing some throwbacks?
So here's the thing. Everybody loves a good throwback. It makes you appreciate the current of where we're at, the current states, right? So everybody appreciates a throwback. However, we're doing a throwback just for our mental health to give us a nice little break. So oddballs, we hope that you understand, but we are taking off the month of January, and we have purposely never taken off because we feel guilty.
And we feel terrible about this, but
we do.
We have picked what we think are the 4 best of our older episodes for y'all to enjoy for each week of the month of January. Stay tuned, though. We are going to bring you a new bonus episode at the end of the month. And if you are on Patreon, we're going to have fresh things on there for you. But until then, enjoy this little throwback episode that's just about to get started after Kara says our magic words.
I love and appreciate you, and I hope you're not mad at us, but the most important thing you can do for me is to creep it real, oddballs.
Goodbye.
Bye.
For now.
We'll see you in 4 weeks.
Whoop whoop.
Welcome to the Oddity Shop, where the bizarre is always on sale.
Welcome back to the Oddity Shop, everybody. I am Zach, sitting here with the host with the least, Kara Warner.
I'm the ghostess with the mostest,
oh
babe.
God. Of course, you'd have a ghost pun right on hand.
Name that movie.
It's got to be a Scary Movie or something. What is it?
We're not friends. What was my wedding cake?
Oh, we're going to really not be friends. Casper.
Beetlejuice.
That's right. Yep. I haven't watched that movie in so long. Every time I think about it, though, that song gets stuck in my head.
Do you want me to start?
No, because I'm already singing it in my head.
Okay,
so Denise sent me something. She sent me a picture and asked if you and me need this. So it's a picture of like a lawn ornament, of course. It's a T-Rex. But the T-Rex is getting climbed by a bunch of gnomes. And she sent it to me and she goes, I thought about sending it to her, but I didn't want to get yelled at because she's given me so many warnings.
I want the T-Rex.
Right? I'm like, but also like we love dinosaurs and the gnomes. It was kind of perfect.
That actually is really funny. But is it like, are they attacking him?
I'll send you a picture of it.
Send it to me right now.
It. So it's like, it kind of looks like they are attacking him, like trying to overcome it.
Well, then I don't, like, if they're trying to be friends, maybe in like,
oh, it's definitely not friends. I'll tell you that much.
No, I don't want it.
Oh, no, you do want it. Hold on, because I'm backwards. The T-Rex is attacking the gnomes.
Oh,
yeah,
then I want
like
it.
One in his mouth, one wrapped in the tail, another in his tiny little arms.
Oh, then actually Denise was so right. This is perfect for me.
So we do need them. Good.
Wait, did you send it to me?
I think I sent it on Facebook Messenger. If I didn't, I don't know who I just sent it to. It was you.
I was expecting a text, so hold on. Yeah, that's funny. Well, they are trying to like kind of attack him. But
he's definitely winning.
One. Yeah, but they're little shits.
So are you. Hey, it's been a week. Have you thought about your hellhound name?
No. Hold on. Let me look up.
Okay. While you look it up, I want to give everybody a really, really awesome podcast recommendation because I cannot get enough of it. It's only updated every 2 weeks, but it's the Haunted Objects podcast by Greg and Dana Newkirk, who have been doing this stuff for freaking ever. They have an entire museum of haunted objects. So every 2 weeks, what they're doing is kind of like going through on a deep dive of explaining one of them and experiences people have had around it and going off on all sorts of side tangents that just have me cracking up. But they are so entertaining. So if you need more of this kind of content, go check out the Haunted Objects podcast.
Yeah, I need to do that. Okay, so I typed up aggressive girl names and tell me what popped up. Delilah.
See, I already told you had a hellhound. For anyone who doesn't know, Kara's dog's name is Delilah. I thought Kara would be at the top of the list because you're pretty damn aggressive.
No, it's Luna, Juno, Lyra, Hera, and Delilah.
Oh, Hera would be a good one.
Hera would be really good.
Or
because it means protector. Hera means protector.
what is it? Helga?
Should be my protector.
Who is the like Nord protector of the underworld? Viking sort of mythology.
A female?
Yeah.
Why can't I? Cleopatra would be cool too.
Ooh, Cleopatra would be a good one. Oh yeah, it's just I think it's Helga or Helga. I don't know.
I don't like that name though.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of
Hey
Arnold.
Cool. Helga, yeah, a football head.
Somebody, I'm pretty sure you got the name wrong. Somebody write in, correct me. But
okay, well, I think I'm gonna go with Hera.
I like that one. That works.
And it's like Kara.
Hera and Kara. Okay, now I hate it.
Maybe I don't like that.
Yeah,
I'll come back to you next week.
Okay, another shout out though, because this is really funny. So me and Kara, since we started this podcast, every episode we've done, we've had some weird synchronicity where like somebody will listen to the episode and then see a documentary about it, or it's just like these weird coincidences where like we haven't heard of the story before or in forever, and you see it pop up all the time. So my friend Megan, who I work with, she's been binging the podcast. Thank you for the shout out.
Thanks, girl.
Or the love. And she suggests, and I don't want to say what the topic is, but she suggests that we do this episode. And then about 4 hours later, she tags me in a Facebook post of the episode, and it's pretty off the wall. It's not something you hear about like all the time. And she texts me, she goes, it was just ... And then she tagged me. I'm like, welcome to the Creepy Club. You are now a part of the weird episode coincidences. And then we talked about creepy shit on the phone for like 2 hours.
Yikes.
What about you? What else is new? What do you got going on?
I don't think anything. I'm sorry.
No more cannibalism this week?
No.
I'm proud of you.
Well, we're in the future, so or wait, are we in the past? I'm never going to get this right.
I mean,
are we in the past?
When everybody hears us,
we're in the future.
They're hearing us in the future. I don't know. However you want to classify it.
But I want to figure this out.
Mechanics.
If we're recording right now, but it's not going to be heard until the future, are we future? Are we past? Or both? Are we both?
Ooh,
right? Because you could be both.
Because then people could be listening to this for years to come. Probably not, but anyways, I got a question for you.
What? Have
you ever written or received an anonymous letter?
Like from a stalker?
Just any anonymous letter?
Yeah.
Okay. Written or received?
Oh, have I written an anonymous?
Have you written one or have you received one?
Received.
Okay. Tell us about it.
Oh, I couldn't even remember. It was really creepy, and I legit had a stalker in high school. I don't remember what it said, to be completely honest, but it was like left at my door, and then my AIM got hacked where they were like messaging me and like telling me what I was wearing and they could see me and shit. I think it was Bianca, but she to this day refuses to say it was her, but I don't know who else it would be. So,
okay. I've never gotten an anonymous letter, but I had an anonymous alien dropped off at my house.
What?
This giant, like, painted alien on plywood. So it's like,
wait, is this recent?
This was in high school.
Oh, I'm like, wait, why have you not told me this?
And it came with it was on the lawn. Like, it was like a 20, 30 pound
You don't
thing.
have it?
No, because then we found the letter that goes with it that we were getting abducted by the alien unless you passed it on to like somebody else, right? So
that is so cute.
It's like, they used to do that around Halloween, like where you leave the bowl of candy or whatever. But this was like, it was totally random. It was like middle of summer.
It's like one of those really annoying chain emails where it's like, if you don't resend this to 10 people, you're going to die.
And we never figured out who it was.
Do you think it's somebody that you know or it was a completely random person? If you can hear my dog, my hellhound, I'm so sorry.
So it had to be somebody we knew because like where I lived, it was a bunch of summer houses and stuff. Like you would have to know where you were putting it to make sure it was somebody who would like actually that or like older people, right? Like make sure it's somebody who would actually. It was so cute.
Was it like hand painted? Like you think they painted it?
Yeah, it was all sorts of colorful. Like whoever started it, like it was definitely a small local thing, but it was really cute. Never saw it on anybody else's lawn though.
I want to do this to random people. But then you could put a hashtag on it, like post it on Instagram and like then you could follow the hashtag. We should do this.
I think we just have an idea. Write that down. Write that down.
Oh my God. Okay. I don't even know what I'm writing down.
Hashtag
picture.
trail. I don't know.
Alien picture.
All right. While you are writing,
okay.
Are you ready to hear?
Can you hear me writing?
Probably. I'll just cut it.
I'm just trying to be quiet
for the first time ever. I'm going to be telling you the story though of the Circleville letters.
I love this.
I figured you would. This one, it's probably one of the more popular stories that we've done.
Oh, I love this.
I just find it so
creepy,
so interesting. And I found, okay, jumping ahead way to the end, I found an idea of who it might be that I haven't heard before.
Oh.
So, a little bit of background though. So, we're talking about Circleville, Ohio. Ohio.
Oh, please.
In the 70s, Circleville is a super small town. I mean, it's still like a really, really small town.
Have you ever been?
I've not been, but I used to when I worked in transportation. We sent a lot of stuff there. So it's a lot of like factories.
Okay.
Actually, a lot of toilet paper.
Interesting. Well, now we know where to go if we ever run out again.
Right? So it's super small, like mid-American town, but all these residents start getting anonymous letters for 20 years.
This trips me up so freaking bad because, I mean, the 70s isn't that long ago. I feel like 70s to 90s. How has this never...
I don't know. I feel like they just gave up. I get into some theories. I'll let you know. So anyways, though, Circleville, like I said, super small town. It's only 15,000 people now. Back then it was like closer to 12,000. But in 1976 is when the letters start. So they're all very similar. There's no return address. They're all postmarked Columbus, which is close, but it's like...
How far is it?
If it's postmarked Columbus, it's it is 30 miles away.
Okay.
So, I mean, decently far, right? They're all handwritten in large uppercase block letters. And it's like they're super oddly punctuated. Like it's all run on sentences separated by colons. Yeah, the P's all have like a little dot underneath, but almost like a question mark.
It makes it so much more creepy, the way it's written, like the handwriting.
And not only the way it's written, but what's written in them. It's literally these people's like personal lives, scandals, secrets. So whoever was doing it had such like personal details of these people's lives and knew their addresses. Right. One of the articles that I read, I love this. They said it was the 1976 analog version of Gossip Girl.
Oh, for sure. For sure. XOXO Gossip Girl.
Ever wanted to spend the night ghost hunting in a haunted asylum? Eloise Asylum presents Paranormal Lockdown. On April 5th from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., you can run the asylum. Discover history, haunts, and the secrets of the past, led by Metro Detroit's premier investigators. There's a limited number of tickets to this exclusive event, and it will sell out. So get your tickets today. Use the promo code HUNT and save $5 off each ticket. Paranormal Lockdown, April 5th at Eloise Asylum. Visit EloiseAsylum.com.
I cracked up at that one a little bit. But let's start with our first letter receiver. So a lot of shows and stories all start with somebody named Mary Gillespie getting the first one, but it was actually received first by Gordon Massey. So Gordon Massey is the superintendent of the local high school. He gets his letter March 3rd, 1977. The letter basically tells him to stop sleeping with and making passes at his coworkers, especially the bus drivers.
Yeah, it's just so wild. Can you imagine?
It's insane. And they're not only saying like the details, they're threatening. So I'm not going to read too many of them because there's thousands, but I'm going to read you one of his letters. Dear Sir, I love the way it starts. So formal. According to my girlfriend, you have asked her to go out many times and have asked other female bus drivers too. This must stop at once for the good of the school and families if they are not stopped. It's all one sentence. I will be forced to write to the school board, and I would hate to do that. To prey on another man's girl is untouchable. I suggest you find yourself a pimple-faced whore and start up with her.
I forgot about how bad the letter.
And all of them have that little bit of like childishness to it.
Okay, but it starts so serious, like where it's like, okay, listen, this is not cool. Like if this is truly what's happening, this is not cool.
Right.
But if it's true, it starts out like it's very, like you said, it's kind of formal. It's like, I'm going to have to report you. Like, this is not okay. And then, yeah, it gets to like that childish, like
pimple-faced whore. Yes. All right. He doesn't get a pimple-faced whore. He ignores the letter. They kept coming for a minute until somebody else gets one. So
does it say how long he got his?
Well, his actually never stopped. Believe it or not. His keep going throughout all of it.
That's right.
So the next person to get one is the vice principal of the school. His letter says to ask Massey about an employee, gives her ID number and not name, stating that she's a bus driver and that Massey's having an affair with her. Possibly her daughter, too. He states that they need to ask her about it to get to the bottom of it. So he obviously goes to Massey. Massey's like, it's not true, ignore it. They do trace the ID number, though, and find out that that employee is a bus driver. So whoever is writing, like, obviously has inside knowledge.
And yeah, because, like, I have an employee number at my work, and nobody can know that employee number. Like, it's not just you can look it up. Like, you can't. So it's, like, for safety records, things like that.
Or if you're outside of the school, definitely not getting into it.
Right. So the fact that this person knows the ID number, like you said, they work here, they, like... What's going on?
Right. So the school board gets a letter next when, apparently they're not appeasing the letter writer, demanding that Massey be fired. School board does an investigation. They can't find any wrongdoing, so nothing happens to him. So somebody else now starts to get letters. The person named earlier by ID number is school bus driver Mary Gillespie, who most people think got the first ones. They always forget about Massey.
Which how? Like he kind of is, I don't know.
I think he kept it really quiet other than...
I think he actually did. I don't think he came forward until it became like very public or whatever, but yeah.
So Mary Gillespie is normal, family type of lady, good mom, loving wife, good friend. And she gets her first letter in 1977 in March. So almost a year after this is going on to Massey. So it's in her mailbox. It's addressed to her. And it's the exact same style as what Massey was getting. No return address, same block letters.
And it's stamped and everything. Like it was mailed. It wasn't just
it was mailed.
Yeah,
exactly. So hers says, stay away from Massey. Don't lie when questioned about him. I know where you live. I've been observing your house and you have children. This is no joke. Please take it serious. Everyone concerned has been notified and everything will be over soon.
It's just, first off, that's very terrifying.
Right.
I'm not saying that Massey's wasn't, because it still is a little like, what the hell? And then all the other school people, whatever, that's like alarming, right?
But now this is bringing in her family. Correct.
And it's to her home where it's like, okay, so this person, does he work at the school? He already got my ID. So did he break into the files? He got my address. Like what's happening? Or him, her, whoever. Like what's happening? How freaky.
Oh, this is tame right now.
Oh, I know.
So Mary doesn't tell her husband anything. She starts getting more and more letters, each with more details. Whoever is writing these had to know her, but they knew her husband and her kids. They knew what bus number she drove. Like they knew everything. So Mary finally doesn't know what to do about the letters, and she is obviously really freaked out. Still has never told her husband until he gets one addressed to him.
And you might go into this, but I know that there was like theories and things that she didn't tell her husband because it was potentially true.
Hold on to that. Now, Ron starts to get letters as well. His are far more threatening than the other two, straight up saying if he does nothing to stop the affair, then he's going to be killed.
And this was her wife, her husband.
Her husband, yes.
What the hell is this? Yeah.
So Ron is Mary Gillespie's husband.
Yes,
so Mary has to come clean to Ron at this point. He assures him that the content of the letters is fake, that nothing's going on. They decide not to tell anyone and just hope that whoever's doing this will stop because it's a small town. They know bad news is going to travel fast. Spoiler alert, it doesn't stop.
I don't know if that's what I would have done, but...
I probably wouldn't have done it the same way, but the letters keep coming for weeks and weeks. The messages start to change, and now words are hard. Now states that if Ron doesn't do anything about the affair or go to the school board, that the writer was going to start taking out signs, billboards, and even go on radio until the truth comes out.
I love how adamant this person is, though, man. I mean, like, they want to
dedication.
They want to get their message out, and they're going to do it.
So Ron and Mary decide they have to tell somebody, and they tell Ron's sister and husband. So their names are Karen and Paul Freshour. They begin to put together a list of suspects. Mary had always suspected, though, it was another bus driver, which would totally make sense.
Yep.
And this guy had made a lot of passes at her. His name is David Longberry, and he did not take her rejection very well. So the family members write David a letter, of course, and threaten to go to the police unless the letters stop. And they actually did for some time until the signs, posters, and billboards all go up around Circleville stating that Massey is sleeping with Mary and Mary's 12-year-old daughter. And they're putting them right on her bus route.
Yeah, this poor woman was driving and seeing this shit.
So Ron starts waking up super early in the morning to try to remove all of the signs and find the person doing this so his wife and his daughter wouldn't see them on their way to school. I know,
what a sweet soul.
Such a sweet man. August 19th, 1977, Mary goes out of town, and now the letters go one step further. So Ron is home with their daughter, and he hears the phone ring. Picks up the call, becomes very triggered. The caller is the letter writer. He states he's watching the house, knew what Ron's truck looked like, and Ron gets pissed at this.
I mean, I would.
He kisses his daughter. He grabs his gun, says he recognizes the voice, and that he's going to go confront whoever wrote the letters. Ron should have stayed home. Hours later, his truck is found. It collided straight into a tree. And he was basically thrown from the car and pronounced dead. And Kara's nodding her head because she knows what comes next. At first, it's completely determined an accident. Ron is found with a 0.16 blood alcohol level, which everyone says like he wasn't a big drinker. So that's
weird.
I mean, that's a lot of alcohol. They also, though, they found that one round had been fired from his gun. There's no bullet hole in the truck, however, and there's no casing found. They just know it's so he doesn't seem like he shot it in the truck.
Right.
So some think he found the writer and chased him and misjudged a turn. Others think that whoever this culprit was actually ran him off the road.
And I will say that he might not have been a big drinker, but I feel like if you're going to like confront something and you're angry, you might need that liquid courage. So
fair. That it just everyone always gets on the fact he wasn't a big drinker, but they don't explain it.
I know, and it's like okay.
Anyways, the police do a super thorough, really great investigation where they polygraphed one person. The person passes the polygraph test. They never release his name, but most people agree that it was probably David Longberry. So now Mary, alone 2 years to think about everything that's happened. She confesses to her relationship with Massey. However, and this is the part that's like a kicker for me. I don't know if this is like helping her story, but she adamantly states that it started after the letters began.
Which I never understood this because I don't know why you would say that unless it was like one of those condoling each other scenarios where they're both talking to like because they're both going through it. They're both getting these letters and then they spark up something. But that has never made sense to me.
The fact that this guy had so many other inside details, he definitely knew something.
Right.
So she hoped that coming clean would stop the letters. It doesn't. And for the next 7 years, more letters, more signs, more threats to her and her child's life.
Oh, God.
1983 now, near where Ron died, Mary's driving one morning, and she sees a sign saying that Massey was doing unspeakable things to her daughter. This is also, again, right along the bus route. So she gets out to take down the sign and notices a string. It's a rigged trap. Thankfully, it doesn't go off because she saw the string, but the sign was tied to a box full of styrofoam with a gun in it. And had she pulled that sign off, she would have basically been shot in the chest point blank.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is where things go from like weird to like this just starts going all over the place.
Well, kind of like what you were saying, it's a little childish, right? Like the letter's a little kind of childish. It's like weird that you're going to waste all your time doing all of this. The truck being run off the road, like we could say that goes both ways. That could be this person running the truck off, or it could just be whichever. But now you're going to attempted murder where you're like, oh, holy crap.
Dude, so not only attempted murder, but it just like this part gets me every time. So the gun, the serial number is filed off, but they, of course, can read it because they didn't do a good job. They trace the gun to a man who works at Anheuser-Busch in Columbus. They find him and he's like, oh, yeah, I own that gun, but I sold it to my supervisor a couple weeks ago. They're like, who's your supervisor? Oh, my supervisor is Paul Freshour. Remember, Paul and Karen Freshour is Ron's sister and her husband.
So it's Mary's brother-in-law.
Yeah. So the cops go to Paul. He admits the gun was his. However, he says it's been stolen a few days earlier, but he just never reported it. And he claims that he was being framed by the letter writer. And apparently he had a pretty good alibi putting him somewhere else where he couldn't have made the trap.
I just have to make the quickest side note. If my family was going through all this weird stuff, like being threatened, letters, things like that, I understand that it's not your direct family, but it's still your family, and your gun goes missing, you're going to fucking report it.
You're going to report it.
Even if it didn't have anything to do with this, if your gun goes missing, you're going to report it, but especially if there's like being things threatened against your family. Come on.
So the cops are obviously like, we got our man. So they ask Paul, they give him copies of the letters, and they tell him to copy the handwriting as best as you can. Okay, this blows my mind. They ask him to copy it.
Right.
Then they say, because you copied it, the handwriting matches. Great police work. Super 70s, but Paul is found guilty and he gets sentenced to 25 years in prison. But the letters don't stop. They don't stop. Even Freshour now is getting them in jail, making fun of him for being stuck in jail, saying, I told you this would happen.
Which is so funny. It's not funny, because can you imagine?
It's insane. Now the letters, though, go fucking everywhere. They're going to Mary. They're going to the prosecutors in the case, claiming corruption. They're going to the coroner who did Ron's autopsy, saying that he was abusing children, which actually turned out to be true. Also, the warden, the judge, like anybody who is involved with this in any way are getting letters. Some are laced with arsenic. So the warden,
it's so much
thinking that somehow Paul is still doing this from prison, puts him in solitary, and letters still kept going. So the warden accidentally helps basically prove that
he's
Paul
innocent.
could not be the one writing the letters. He goes up for parole in 1990 originally. He's denied. They don't believe him yet. But then in 1994, he is paroled again. And he always held the story that he had nothing to do with the letters until he died in 2013. Like, he never confessed to anything. Although, around the same time that he is released from prison, the letters stopped and no one ever received one again.
It's so wild.
In 2021, CBS did a special and they're like, we're going to get to the bottom of this. So they hired 2 top FBI agents to examine the letters.
Okay, see, I don't think I know any of this recent stuff.
Perfect. One of those FBI specialists has said, we've looked at it. We've looked at Paul's. It has to be Paul. There's no other options. The other FBI agent says there is absolutely no way it could have been Paul.
Wait, this is just going off of the writing that he did matching?
I think they dug into a lot more than that, but I don't know exactly the method.
What is it called when you study handwriting?
Handwritingology. I don't know.
I'm sure they had those people.
I know there's a name for it. I can't think of what it is. But some people still hold on or claim that it was Paul. Others think it was David Longberry. Because David, actually, he skips town about the same time the letters stopped to avoid being arrested for abusing a young girl.
Yeah.
Like, all these people have demons in their closet.
But that's what's so crazy about the letters is that whoever was writing them knew all of this shit about everybody.
So there's one person that we haven't talked much about yet, but we've talked about them so far in this case. Can you think of who it might be?
A graphologist? Is that right?
Yes.
I don't know. Oh, I'm so sorry. What did you ask me?
Okay, so we have somebody that we've talked about in the story so far.
I think it might be her sister.
So Karen. So Karen is Ron's sister, right? So Mary's sister-in-law, and she was married to Paul. Before Paul gets arrested, they actually go through like a really, really bad divorce. Like Karen fucking hates Paul. Okay. So back to that booby trap that was supposed to kill Mary. Another bus driver is driving that same route, and she notices a man on the side of the road near where the box was placed in a yellow El Camino who pretends to urinate on the road as she drives by. So this guy is tall, he's got blonde hair, and it's, like I said, right next to the booby trap. So Paul was short, large, and had brown hair, so it's definitely not him. Karen, though, is dating a man after her divorce who fits this description perfectly, and Karen's other brother had a yellow El Camino.
Wow.
She would also have the motive. Her brother's wife was cheating on him.
Right.
She hates her now ex-husband, who gets framed. And she would have also been able to steal the gun rather easily.
Right.
She also, when she testified against Paul in court, said that she had a bunch of letters that she found in his room, but then was never able to produce them.
Oh, that's right. Didn't she also claim that she got some letters, but couldn't, like, herself got them? Yeah. Bitch.
But she really never did.
No.
So some people think it's Paul. Some people think it's David. Some people think it's Karen. There's one other one is Karen's son. Karen's son became estranged from Karen kind of around the time this all stopped. And then in the early 2000s, he actually takes his own life.
How old was he, though, when this was all going on?
I don't remember. There was not a whole lot of information about him.
Okay.
But basically, it's never been solved. People still don't know.
See, I don't know if I'm going with Karen's son, though. Because I feel like he wouldn't, well, I don't know. Maybe he could have been older. But why would he really care?
One person who got in on it and had a theory. So at one point, the letters changed just slightly.
Mm-hmm.
And then near the end, they actually started coming on a typewriter, which Karen also had a friend who she borrowed a typewriter from that she found super weird. But a lot of people posit that
Karen,
it was more than one person.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I always thought, because I know one person could have all this gossip, but it's more likely that you'd have somebody feeding you a lot of the gossip, right? So it's either somebody that works in like the post office where they have all the addresses and they can see all these letters, or, you know, open up a bunch of shit, or like somebody that did work in the school because they can hear all this gossip and stuff like that. But that's kind of what I always thought. It was like more than one individual, but I don't know.
I watched this one video. There's a YouTube video. It'll be linked down the show notes. This guy did an amazing job. But at the end of it, he posited it as like, everyone's always trying to figure out who is guilty and who's innocent in this case. He goes, but the thing is
everybody's guilty.
Everybody is guilty. There's no black and white in this one. Like, these people were doing horrendous things to each other. Because there's so many details I left out where this group of people were just throwing each other under the bus constantly.
Yeah, it was wild. It was just a freaking shit show. But yeah, and like obviously, like, somebody almost got murdered. Somebody did potentially get murdered.
And that's the thing too that makes me like, if it was Karen, could you imagine the length that you now have to go to protect your identity? If Ron recognized her voice and then chased her down, she had to kill her own brother.
I was just going to say, so you just killed your own brother, though, for what? Like, he didn't do anything unless you're just, like, psychotic. But, like...
to protect herself.
Well, I know at that point, but it's like, at this point, Karen, all you did was, like, send some letters. Just, like, come forward. Don't kill your brother. It's messed up. But I'm thinking she probably didn't mean to kill her brother.
I kind of think it was Karen and Paul together.
So that's what I was going to say, is even though she hated Paul, she was probably using Paul to get a bunch of this insight stuff, right? And then she was always going to frame him eventually.
Yeah.
So it's probably them two little shits together. And then maybe it was a son that kind of got in on it.
Like the whole family.
The whole gang, family affair.
I wonder, like, they didn't hate each other at first, right? Like, they were a solid couple who Mary and Ron went to. So if they're doing this for years and years, of course there's going to be some tension that builds up. So maybe Paul was writing them first, and then when they changed, it was Karen.
Right. When did they get divorced?
They got divorced shortly after Ron's death. Oh, that could be a trigger.
Because it was probably Paul that ran him off the road. And then she went apeshit because you just killed my brother. Yeah, I think it's Karen and Paul.
It has to be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that's the story of the Circleville letters.
So they don't think that they're ever going to solve it? Or are they still trying to like figure it out?
I mean, it's been 30 years. You know what I mean?
I know.
Most of these people are pretty much like old anyway now.
It's just so wild to me that they couldn't, like, hello, stake out the house, stake out the school. I don't know.
Police work in the 70s wasn't that great, but mid 90s, I mean, that's when you're starting to get into DNA and all that kind of stuff too.
Ish, yeah.
There had to be fingerprints, or there has to be. The letters are still somewhere.
And that's my point, is like it's the weirdest part is that they're handwritten letters.
Right.
Like, at least if you wanted to type up a letter, you could type it with gloves on, right? And then like pack and like dot. But like, this is a handwritten letter. It has your fingerprints all over it. Think of how much you touch a piece of paper when you're writing on it, like even with your other hand.
One of whoever actually did it had to be connected with the cops, because both times there were like these investigations or whatever, they never pushed it that hard.
Which is really weird to me.
Right.
Because it's a pretty serious thing. I mean, people are getting threatened left and right, and then somebody does die.
And attempted murder.
Correct.
And then you have arsenic going to random like, prosecutors and people in the court system. Like, whoever did this had some serious gall.
Or you know what? It's going to be something completely freaking wacky, and it's not going to be anybody like, you know what I mean? Like, it's either them two, or it's going to be somebody so far outside of the circle that is like crazy circle.
It kind of gave me a little bit of vibes of, God, I can't remember where it happened now, but The Observer, those people who bought the house and started getting all the letters of like, our families had the house for generations, but then would start writing all the letters about what they were doing in the house and stuff.
Ew, I've never heard of that.
Oh, there's a really good documentary, I think on Netflix. I'll have to find the name of it and I'll send it to you.
Oh, I don't think I can watch that.
Oh, it's super creepy.
Yeah.
Another true story too.
I don't think I could watch that. Yeah, no. What were they living inside the walls? That's one of my biggest things. Biggest fears is like somebody living in my basement, living in walls, the attic.
Oh, I saw, I know you have that fear, and I saw this thing the other day and I meant to send it to you. And this woman's like, so I was tucking my child into bed and he told me that the people in the walls don't like me. So by the way, if anybody is looking to buy my house, I've left. Also, I left my son there too, because the wall people already know what he looks like.
Oh, I would leave that kid as well.
Yeah. No,
I ain't taking you with me.
You're done.
Oh, no.
I'll have to try to find it and I'll send it to you.
That's really terrifying. She should probably look in her walls. Have somebody else look in her walls. And it's not like the squirrels in yours.
Oh, the squirrels are gone. I have ghosts of the
saying.
Squirrels now. Thank God.
There's squirrels in my walls.
Oh my God, that was just a nightmare.
All right, well, thank you for retelling me that, because I friggin' love it.
I know. I forgot about it. I haven't listened to it in a really, really long time, or like heard anything on it, but it is one of the ones that's it's been done.
It has.
I hope I did it justice.
You did. It's just so, and like you said, we're already at like 45 minutes or something. Like, you left out a lot of like crazy details and like wacky things. So like, you guys should read upon it more if you haven't, because it gets freaking bananas.
And read a few different things, because everything I read has a different tale of like who got the letter first. Or like when the events happened and everything. So there's some sleuthing to be done if you want to dig into this one. Maybe you could finally solve the case.
I really think so that they can, because people have those letters. There's no way they got rid of those letters. They can use DNA.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's Karen.
And Paul.
Karen and. So yeah, that's it. That's what I got for you today.
It's always Karen.
Always Karen.
Hashtag.
Hey, you're not far off. You're only like one letter off from Karen.
And Kara and Aaron make Karen.
Ew, no wonder why I hate you guys.
Okay, well, thanks for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed. Remember to like our things, subscribe.
Send us anonymous letters with your story, if that's more your go.
Oh my god. Wait, what are you naming your hellhound?
I said Cujo in the last one, but I never went further than that.
I don't know why.
Trixie.
Oh, is it a girl?
I don't care. It can be Trixie either way.
Oh no, you did say princess last week. You did say princess, but Trixie would be really funny too.
Trixie would be a really cute, and with like a little pink bow.
Yeah, as it's mauling somebody's neck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. With that being said, creep it real, yadballs.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.